Now, France's controversial millionaire tax is set to become law this year. The measure is also called the super tax. It is super. It's 75%. 75% tax on companies that pay salaries of more than 1 million euros. It's a huge penalty. It's part of President Francois Hollande's plan to reduce the country's massive deficit. Kate Parkinson reports from Paris.
He's one of France's most recognizable film stars, but Gérard Depardieu gave up his French passport and became a Russian citizen last year in protest over the proposed super tax. The controversial tax has also raised the ire of the country's football clubs, many of which pay vast salaries to their players. Clubs warn the tax will spark an exodus of top players to rival clubs abroad and kill the French game. But despite the controversy and complaints, President Francois Hollande's super tax will become law this year, although it will only apply for 2 years and cannot surpass 5% of a company's annual revenue.
It's limited in 3 ways. It's limited because there's a cap. It's limited because there's a relatively small number of cases that are concerned with this tax. It's also limited in time because this tax is not going to last forever. So it might be 2 years, who knows, but it certainly won't last. It's probably actually not even sustainable for French economy to last longer than that.
In practice, the tax amounts mainly to a political gesture, as it will only raise a few €100 million, which hardly makes a dent in France's massive budget deficit. Hollande himself calls it a symbolic tax to show that the rich are being made to pay. The trouble is, they're not the only ones.
People in France are fed up with the tax system and the politics of Francois Hollande. There's a feeling that they are paying too much tax. People are not seeing any results in economic and social matters. There's the feeling that the situation in France has not improved since the presidential election, and that Hollande has not done any better than Nicolas Sarkozy.
The 75% tax was one of Francois Hollande's key election pledges, and it was wildly popular with his socialist supporters. But now, as the recession drags on and everyone in France feels the pinch of higher taxes, the popularist policy is doing very little to boost support for the beleaguered president. Kate Parkinson, CCTV, Paris.